Hey guys. So this is my first attempt at this. I'm not going to claim to be a pro. I am absolutely an amateur. But I feel that the divine spirit is pushing me to get on social media, as funny as that may sound. I follow several tarot readers on here, and I am getting messages from multiple different channels, multiple different readers, multiple sources, evidently, that I have a message to share. And I don't know, I guess this is your sign to do what scares the living hell out of you. There was a woman on, I believe, America's Got Talent, Lily Mayola. She sings a song, and my favorite line is, "It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you." And I am terrified right now. I am on the verge of tears. I don't like to see my face on video. I don't like how round and or square my face looks. I don't like that my face looks oily and my forehead looks like an 8 head. But I have faith. And that for me is absolutely crazy, because I have never been a person of faith. I have always believed that if I didn't do something, it wouldn't get done. And 996 days ago, I started a journey of recovery. I was an addict of the worst type, best type, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And I was the darkest that I had ever been. I was at the lowest I had ever been. And I've always known there had to be something better. And so I left Florida to move up here to the Pacific Northwest, as if I could go any further, trying to actually, no, this time I was not trying to run from me, but I've spent my entire life doing that. And we have a phrase that gets said a lot around my community. That is, no matter where you go, there you are. And I moved here and I got connected with a MAT clinic, or a medication assisted treatment. I was previously on methadone in Florida for many years, almost a decade, and was still using that whole time. And so the medication was not doing what it's intended to do. And I moved up here. And actually, I moved up here at the request or urgence of my biological father, who had been sending me money via Western Union. He told me, "I'm retiring and I can't send you money anymore, but if you want to move up here, I will help you get your life together." And I will forever be grateful for that plane ticket he sent me, because my life has gotten nothing but better since I got here. April 9th of 2022. And my sober date is April 12th. I had to make sure that I had enough medicine with me to not be sick until I could find a clinic and get back on the MAT program. And there's a lot I can say about it. I wouldn't recommend it to everybody, but it has done wonders for me. As I said, I'm 996 days free, clean and free, from the fiend that once drove my every thought, action, behavior. And I'm forever grateful for that. I then got connected with a recovery community in a 12-step program, which, yes, is supposed to be anonymous, but frankly, It's part of my story. So if I didn't mention it, I would be leaving out a huge part of what has brought me to where I am today. And that is, I would say happy, but more than that, I've learned how to be content even when things aren't going my way. And I never thought that was possible. When I used to hear people say, oh, I have no regrets. I don't regret a thing. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't go through all the things I did. I always thought, are you effing crazy? Like, no regrets, not a single one? I have performed a lot of regrets in my life. I don't want to call them mistakes because they're lessons. It's a mistake when you fail to take the lesson from it. And, but I got into the program and they told me that I could have a God, a higher power of my own understanding. And being raised in the LDS church, growing up in Utah, where it was, if you are not perfect, if you don't follow these rules to the letter, then you're doomed to hell. You are doomed to damnation. And I always knew deep in my gut that that wasn't right. But to keep the peace with my father who raised me, rest his soul, he's been gone since I was 19 years old. And I didn't appreciate the road that he tried to lead me on while he was here. If you have difficulty with your parents or any of your family members, do the best you can at seeing the good in them. Because even the worst of them, I think, still have good qualities. In doing some journaling, a lot of shadow work over the last 2.5+ years, I realized that as awful as I thought my childhood was, that my parents worked hard. My mom and my adoptive father, he adopted me when I was 4 years old. They always worked hard to keep a roof over our heads. I have a sibling, younger sibling, and we always had a roof over our heads. We always had food in our bellies. We had a Christmas tree at Christmas, Easter baskets at Easter, camping trips that I remember, happy times. And there were a lot of times that I don't remember or that I would rather not remember. But in realizing that my parents did the best they could with what they had, and that is being raised with the parents, the rules, the societal expectations that they had, and their own struggles with substances, alcohol, self-love, that they did what they thought was best, and I can't fault them for that. I myself am a parent of grown children, and I'll get into that more later, but a big lesson for me was being a child who felt abandoned by her biological father, and then being a mother who essentially abandoned her own children. Being able to see that from both sides. I can say I'm grateful for it, but it also makes it difficult to understand where someone is coming from and not wanting much to do with you or nothing, but also being the parent who yearns and aches for their children. So, I guess I'll start with something I shared tonight with my community. And that is one of the most valuable lessons that I have learned as of late. On New Year's Eve, I took a Epsom salt cleansing bath and did a guided meditation. Thank you to Reiki Rachel. I absolutely love her channel, her channeled messages. And it was about releasing things from 2024, from my past. And while doing that, the thought came to mind, if you love something, set it free. And I began crying immediately because I thought a few things at one time, as I usually do. I've got ADHD, so my brain is constantly going through a million ideas and thoughts and theories and colors and quotes and songs and whatever else. But I thought, you know what? You need to set them free because you love them, and let them live their lives as they choose to, without trying to push yourself on them, trying to convince them to come to me. I also thought, Rachel, you need to set yourself free, because not really in literal sense, but in my heart, in my mind, chasing after a relationship with them, I've been driving myself to depression lately. The last couple of months, it's been really difficult, maybe with the holidays being around, maybe because I can feel all of my feelings again, which was something that I tried to not do in my addiction. God gifted me with a superhuman power of empathy, and I am a very empathic person. I feel everything very deeply, very intensely. Not only my own feelings and emotions, but I feel others. I feel the earth's pain with all the damage that we do to her. It hurts my heart when I see litter on the ground. And as silly as that may sound, that's how sensitive I am. I am an extremely sensitive person in all descriptions of the word sensitive. And it's something I'm learned to be okay with. In fact, I'm learning to love it about me. And I'm finding the positive side of that. I grew up thinking that sensitivity was bad, that it made me weak, that crying meant that you had no control over your emotions or yourself. And it's not the case at all. As a matter of fact, it takes a very strong person to feel not only their feelings, but the feelings of the people around them, the feelings in the room, the energy in the room, the energy of the entities that go unseen, that are dark and against us and trying to keep us trapped in this absolute mind that we've got going on. I don't want to use the word indoctrinated, but we have been trained to see things from a certain perspective, and I'm finding that I certainly wasn't happy there, and I see now why so many people, especially in the Western world, are so unhappy, medicated, in therapy, drinking, drugging, numbing their problems. Not only their problems, but the problems of the world. There are so many scare tactics around us. Scarcity mindset. There's not enough food. Bullshit. Look at how much land in America is not populated. Overcrowding is only a problem because all these rich developers keep building these housing developments on top of each other. We have a food shortage because what we're eating is chemicals. It's hardly considered food. If you look at your food products, even ice cream says something like a cream dessert treat or something. It's not truly ice cream. Anyway, that's a whole nother tangent I can go down. But going back to all of the scare tactics around us, thinking there's not enough, that there's too many people. Everyone's struggling to make ends meet. I have never known so many adults to live with roommates, to still be living with family in my whole life. As a matter of fact, God is funny. God definitely has a sense of humor, because I used to, I've really disliked the people who make their videos from their cars. My judgmental ass thought, how tacky. But as it is, as soon as I got ready to actually make this video tonight, my roommate came home. And yes, roommate. I have a roommate and almost a dozen housemates, because I am in transitional housing or sober living. And it's very, very difficult. I am very neat, tidy, if not OCD. And living with people who are not plays hell on my mental health. But it's teaching me tolerance. It's teaching me acceptance. And I know that the day that I do get my own home, that I will appreciate it that much more, because I won't have to share it with people that I don't choose to. And so when I talk about things that seem negative, that they can be positives, that's a good example of one. And I'm actually very fortunate to have gotten on a grant to have my rent paid for a period of time. And I'm working. I actually deliver packages for everybody's favorite, I don't know what you would call it. I deliver packages for Amazon. And it's a tough job. It is physically demanding. It kicks my 40-something-year-old butt. But it's also getting me in better shape. And trying to get some of this holiday weight off. That's where these jowls are coming from. I have been eating all of the sweets and treats offered around the holidays and loving every minute of it. Although I'm not enjoying the extra weight now. I am not a person who likes to limit something that I do get simple joy from, and that is food. I don't know, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I do want to say, though, that if you feel pushed, urged, encouraged to do something because it will lead you in the direction of the path that your soul would like to be on, go for it. Stop letting fear hold you back. When we were little, you remember all the things we dreamed of? And we just knew that we could be astronauts. We knew that we could be president. We knew that we could be rock stars. We played dress up, putting on costumes, and had the most fun doing it. Oh, here comes another housemate. But, yeah, man, as kids, we just went for it. And then as you grow up, you have society telling you, oh, that's not possible. You know, life is tough. Stay in your lane. Fall in line. Follow the rules. Sit down. Shut up. I know if you're from my generation, children were to be seen and not heard. And I think that is one of the most damaging things that could have been done. That is one thing that I did learn in my IOP classes, that is intensive outpatient, is that everyone, especially a child, should feel seen and heard. They should feel like their feelings matter, that their ideas are fascinating, that their silly little dances are fun and exciting, and that their artistic pursuits should be followed, that their sensitivity should not be stifled. I will say my biggest regret is that I could not be there to encourage my children to follow their dreams. I can only hope that the family members who raised them did that for them. And I pray every night, every day, sometimes more than once a day, twice a day, multiple times a day, that I will have an opportunity to be encouraging to them again, that they will allow me to be part of their lives again. But as I mentioned in the beginning, I have come to the realization that if they don't, I have to find a way to be okay with that. And another thing that came to mind for me when I was sharing today is that I was put here to be more than just their mother. And although I want more than anything to be that, the decisions that I've made, the path that I've taken, drew me away from that. And I have to take personal responsibility for that. I recently heard someone say, we can escape reality, but we can't escape the consequences of reality. And there are consequences to our choices. Life is a series of choices and decisions, and although I highly encourage you to take risks, healthy ones, follow your gut. Your gut knows. Your gut knows right from wrong, whether you've been taught or not. Take risks, but choose wisely. If you think about it, every situation you come up against, you've either got one of two options or you've got multiple options of what to do. And depending on what decision you make in that split millisecond can make huge changes in your life, the lives of others. Sometimes for the best, sometimes not. So choose wisely. Another thing I recommend about choosing is the people you surround yourself with. I've heard it said by people smarter than me, more educated than me, that we are most like the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And I know that I have gotten a lot more selective on this journey in my older age, my wiser age. I've always been a person who preferred quality of friends over quantity, but I also make friends very easily. I'm the type of person that people feel comfortable telling things to that they would not tell anyone else. In fact, I've heard it a million times. I don't know why I told you that. I've never told anybody that. I appreciate that I offer that kind of comfort to people, although it can be exhausting sometimes when you have strangers on planes or in line somewhere telling you the latest drama in their life. But ultimately, I have been gifted with that ability to make people feel seen and heard, make them feel at ease. Because I'll tell you something, keeping things in is the worst way to go about living. Get them out, whether you tell someone, a stranger in line, on an airplane, whether you write it on a piece of paper, whether you write it in a journal, whether you record it on a video, put it in a memo, a voice memo, however you choose to, get it out of your head. Because if you are a pro ruminator like I am, it goes in there and it just spins round and round and round and round. And eventually it makes you feel like a crazy person because you see no solutions. All you see is the round and round of how many problems you have. And eventually that spirals downward to where it's hard to see the light at the end of any tunnel. If you need to talk to somebody about something, please, please do. Do not keep it in. Hell, talk to your pet if you need to. I used to tell my dog all sorts of secrets. But yeah. So, you guys are here with me on the beginning of this scary ass journey. I don't really have an interest in being on social media. I don't enjoy technology. I like living in the natural world. I would be happy building a bungalow out in a tropical rainforest somewhere and getting all the animals I want. Horses, dogs, cats, birds, lizards, some little pygmy goats. Oh my God, they're so cute. And having minimal interaction with people. But that is not the life that's intended for me, evidently. So I am following the urges of my soul. I am going to start sharing my thoughts and experiences and challenges and accomplishments and victories with the world. And I hope and pray that my story helps someone or enlightens someone or intrigues someone or encourages someone to go out and do what scares the hell out of you. Because I know that when I get to the other side of this tunnel, I would have much rather said, oops, than what if. So thank you guys for hanging in there for this awkward amateur video of mine. And hopefully you look forward to hearing more from me. Hopefully I get brave enough to do this a second time. And be kind. It's free. Everyone, literally everyone is struggling with something. Even the richest, prettiest, most relaxed people, they have problems. They have body image issues. They have struggling relationships with their parents. They have siblings that don't want anything to do with them. They have bills they forgot to pay. Everybody is struggling with something. And like good old Thumper said, if you don't have something nice to say, just shut the fuck up. No. I love the way the world is going. It's going to take us a while to get there. It's taken us a long time to screw it up. But by us, I mean humans. But the newer generations, they are much softer, much more self-aware, much more intuitive, much more empathetic than my generation, than the generations that came before us. And frankly, and I'll leave off with this, we all have generational trauma. We are all carrying the DNA of our ancestors who went through wars and being enslaved by other peoples, being tortured, being burned, being poor, you know, the Depression era, we all are carrying the DNA and the hurt and the fear of our ancestors. So go easy on yourself. Start treating yourself the way you would your best friend. Because when they say, you know, you come into the world alone, you go out alone. Well, really, you need to be your best friend, because when stuff hits the fan, you might be the only one you have to save your ass. And I love you guys. I really do, man. I as much as I hate human behavior sometimes, I love people. People are fascinating. We're complicated. We are interesting creatures for sure. So reach out to someone you think might be struggling. I promise you, your friend who seems happiest on the outside is probably struggling the most on the inside. But they enjoy the pleasure and happiness that they can bring to others. So love yourself more, love others more, be kind to our planet, and I guess tune in next time. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.